So if you're getting ready for your Canadian citizenship test, you've probably been staring at the official study guide for a while now. But today, we're going to do more than just cram for the test. We're going to unpack the real story behind Canadian identity and what it actually means to be a citizen. All right, let's jump right in. It really all begins with this, doesn't it? A simple, dark blue booklet. But it's so much more than just paper and ink, right? It's a key. It's a promise. It's a symbol that's recognized all over the world. And that's our big question for today. What does this little book truly represent? To get to the bottom of that, we need to explore three big ideas: the people who built this country, the freedoms that hold it together, and the responsibilities that come with being a part of it all. First up, let's talk about the people, because Canada isn't just one thing. It's more like a giant, incredible mosaic, built piece by piece, layer by layer, over centuries. Honestly, the story of Canada is the story of its people. Think about how it was built, kind of in layers. It all started way back in ancient times, with the deep, deep roots of indigenous communities. Then, in the 1600s, the French and British arrived, laying down new foundations, and often competing over the massive fur trade. Then, boom, the late 1800s hit, and everything changed with these huge waves of immigrants from Britain, the US, Ukraine, Poland, all settling the West. And that story? It's still going on today, as Canada continues to be a destination for people from every corner of the globe. This idea of different people coming together, it's not new. It was captured perfectly by Governor General John Buchan way back in 1937. He said immigrant groups should hold on to their own culture while also cherishing the new loyalty and tradition which springs from their union. And that philosophy, right there, that's the heart of Canadian multiculturalism. It's all about unity, not forcing everyone to be exactly the same. And that idea from 1937 is more true today than ever. The story of who we are just keeps evolving. Today's Canada is this incredible tapestry of faiths. While most Canadians identify as Catholic or Protestant, the number of Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, and people with no religious affiliation is always growing, constantly adding new threads to our cultural fabric. Okay, so you have all these different people living together. How do you make that work? Well, that brings us to our second big pillar. A diverse society needs a really strong framework to hold it all together. In Canada, that framework is built on a deep, deep commitment to freedom and the rule of law. And the roots of our freedom go way, way back. I'm talking all the way to 1215 and the Magna Carta in England. This great charter of freedoms basically established the radical idea that nobody is above the law, not even the king. This whole concept of ordered liberty is the bedrock of Canadian law, and it's the direct ancestor of rights like habeas corpus, which is really just a way of saying the government can't lock you up without a good reason. Those ancient principles are at the very core of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. This document guarantees you fundamental freedoms: the freedom to believe what you want, to say what you think, to gather peacefully, and to hang out with whoever you choose. And these aren't just suggestions, they are the law of the land. And the laws that protect these freedoms? They're made through a very clear, very deliberate process. A proposed law, what we call a bill, has to go through multiple rounds of reading, debate, and study in the House of Commons. If it passes all that, it goes through the whole process again in the Senate before it gets royal assent. That's the final stamp of approval. It's a system of checks and balances, and it's designed to make sure every law is looked at from all angles. So, we've talked about the people, and we've talked about the principles. But that's only 2/3 of the story. There's a third, absolutely vital piece to this puzzle. Citizenship isn't just about what you get. It's about what you give. It's about the active role that you play in all of this. The best way to think about it is like a pact, or a deal. On one side, you have all your rights, the freedoms we just talked about. But on the other side, you have your responsibilities. You really can't have one without the other. They are two sides of the very same coin. And the strength of our rights depends entirely on how seriously we take our responsibilities. So, what are these big duties we're talking about? Well, first off, voting. It is your chance, your voice, your say in how things are run. Second, volunteering. Giving your time to help others is one of the most powerful ways to build a stronger community. And finally, there's stewardship. This just means taking care of Canada, its amazing environment, its culture, its history, and protecting it for all the generations to come. And that brings us to the home stretch, not just for our explainer, but for many of you, the start of a whole new chapter in your life. So let's talk about those final steps on this amazing journey. The entire journey leads to this one moment, the citizenship ceremony. This is where it all becomes real. You stand up, you take the oath of citizenship, you sign the official form, and you finally receive your certificate. It is a powerful, profound moment that officially welcomes you into the Canadian family.
And just like that, in that moment, you become a part of this incredible country. A country that stretches from the salty air and rugged, colorful coasts of the Atlantic, all the way across the vast prairies to the absolutely majestic, snow-capped peaks of the Rocky Mountains.
And even further, all the way up to the stark, quiet, and ethereal beauty of the North. This entire, vast, beautiful land is now your home.
So that passport, that little blue book we started with, it's not the end of the journey, it's the beginning. It's an invitation to jump in, to participate, to contribute, and to add your own unique voice to the great Canadian story. Because Canada's story is far from over. It's being written right now. So the only question left is, what will your chapter